Correspondent Steve Harrigan back with us, trying to safely get us the news. And he's in the middle of it all. And Steve, we've heard that there would be tough fighting through the night. The president there said this was a critical night. As morning dawns, what can you see?
Yeah, the president of Ukraine said this is the night that the country's fate will be decided. He warned his people after really denying for weeks at a time that there would be no Russian invasion. He said tonight's the night when they're going to try and take this capital. It's clear that Russian troops are not only in the capital, Kyiv, but they're also in the city center. We have seen in the past hour small arms fire, rifle fire back and forth, red tracer rounds flying back and forth in the night. The Russians are not in control of this capital yet, this on day 3 of this invasion. Now, the Ukrainian president has offered talks with Russia. Here's how President Putin responded to that request.
Take power into your own hands. It seems that it will be easier for you and me to come to an agreement than with this gang of drug addicts and neo-Nazis who have settled in Kiev and taken the entire Ukrainian people hostage.
So he's calling the leadership of Ukraine neo-fascists and drug addicts, so not much prospect for talks there. As far as the military situation on the ground goes, more than 200 missiles fired by Russia so far. Some residential areas hit hard also, but no control of any major population centers on day 3. And the longer this goes on, certainly, the more world pressure grows on Russia to pull back. Back to you, Shannon.
And Steve, Brett Baer is here with me as well today.
Hey, Steve, great job out there. Listen,
hey, Brett.
A couple of things. One is, when you talk to Ukrainians, are they surprised that the full force of Russia is not raining down on them, that either the air campaign is not as fierce as they thought it would be, or that soldiers are not on the streets of Kyiv right now?
I think if you're talking to a military analyst, they would say absolutely. And I think a lot of people who've watched this closely are aware that Russia is not throwing its whole might into this yet. But if you talk to ordinary Ukrainians, I think they're terrorized. I think they're absolutely out of their minds with fear with what's going on. If you saw the scenes at the train station, they're putting together emergency trains to get people out, and guards had to fire into the air because people were just jamming, packing into those trains to get out of here. So yes, Russia is holding back some of its main forces, not throwing everything at it, not rubbling buildings. I mean, this is not Grozny here, not yet anyway, but 200 missiles is enough to terrorize a population.
Oh, yeah.
Small arms fire is enough to keep people in their house. So, yeah, they're scared.
Yeah, and the other thing is just more about you guys. This is the Washington Post reporter. He says, our hotel just ordered us back into the bunker in Kyiv. Then the kitchen staff, whose families are sheltered with us, including grandmothers and children, served us up spaghetti bolognese and Greek salad. I know it's cliche, but everyone is being so kind to each other. How are you guys getting by? What was your night like overnight?
I think people are being kind to each other, and the team here is experienced, so it's better to be with people than to be alone. One thing I'd say, and I think this applies to Ukrainians all around the world, is that the fear has a ripple effect. Like, people here are afraid, but your relatives who live in other places are terrified just as much as you are.
Yeah.
And Steve, you guys had a lot of reporting yesterday on civilians who were being issued guns, essentially by the government, saying, "Hey, if you're willing and you're able, show up, and we're gonna arm you with what we have." Are you seeing any of that on the streets? Is it a defensive position at this point for those people who are sitting and waiting, armed as best they can be now?
I think for some people, like Johnny Jones pointed out earlier, it is mainly defensive family, but I think there's a lot of patriotism. A lot of civilians are taking up as many as 18,000 rifles were handed out. And I don't think you can underestimate the importance of home field, of home terrain in a war like this, even when the odds greatly favor the Russians, who are away from home, fighting on different territory, and fighting around people's houses. People fight differently when they're fighting for their own house.
Last thing, Steve, when Russian troops arrive in Kyiv, is there a plan? What happens?
I think we move different stages, and I don't think there's any harm in telling you what our thinking is that we stand up here. Some people go further, and that's fine. You know, this is as far as I'm going right now. We get down low if it gets worse. We go in the room if it gets worse, and then we go in the basement. So the basement is our last, stand.
Well, Steve, we thank God for you and your crew and our other colleagues who are willing to take on these assignments to be there. and to be brave and bold for the rest of us so that you can bring these stories to the rest of the world accurately and truthfully. And we pray for you. I pray for you guys every night, and we're grateful you're there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.